Meghan Markle looks likely to launch a line of lifestyle products in Australia. The Duchess of Sussex has trademarked her brand as ever ahead of a trip down under alongside Prince Harry.
Why would someone expand a brand internationally when it hasn't fully succeeded at home? That's the question a lot of people are starting to ask about Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand as ever. Because right now, what looks like a bold expansion into Australia might actually be something very different. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss the bigger picture behind what's really going on here. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because stories like this, they evolve fast and we break them down in a way most people don't. On the surface, the story is simple. Meghan is taking her brand as ever into Australia. New audience, new market, fresh opportunity. That's how it's being presented. And if you stop there, it sounds like growth. But here's where you need to slow down and think critically. Real brand expansion usually happens when you've dominated your primary market, demand is strong, the product is already proven. Now, ask yourself honestly, has As Ever clearly achieved that level of success in the US? Because if it hasn't, then this isn't expansion, it's repositioning. Let's connect the dots most people ignore. There have been clear signals that things didn't go as planned. The brand hasn't built a strong, consistent identity. Audience engagement hasn't matched expectations. And most importantly, major backing, especially from media partnerships, has cooled off. Now, here's the key insight. When a brand struggles to gain traction, it has two options: fix the core problem, change the environment. And what we're seeing right now looks a lot like option 2. Instead of fixing perception issues in one market, you move to another market where the perception might be more favorable. That's not necessarily wrong, but it does tell you something important. This move is reactive, not just strategic, and those two things are not the same. Now, pause for a second. Do you think this is a smart business move or a risky gamble? Drop your opinion in the comments. I read them and I respond. And if you're into this kind of breakdown where we go deeper than headlines, subscribe and turn on notifications right now because the next phase of this story, it's going to be even more revealing. So why Australia specifically? This is where it gets interesting. Australia has historically been more receptive to Meghan and Harry compared to other regions. There's already familiarity. There's already a base level of interest. From a strategic standpoint, that makes sense. But again, look deeper. If your brand needs a friendlier audience to succeed, what does that say about the brand itself? Strong brands don't depend on geography. They carry their weight anywhere. So this raises a tougher question. Is the brand strong, or is it being carefully placed where it's least likely to be challenged? Now, let's talk about timing. This expansion aligns closely with Meghan and Harry's Australia trip. That's not coincidence, that's coordination. And here's what that suggests. Public appearances drive attention. Attention feeds into brand awareness. Brand awareness is expected to convert into business. It's a full ecosystem play. This is where everything comes together. This Australia move is not just another business step. It's a test, a real one, because now there's pressure to prove the brand works. There's pressure to rebuild credibility, and there's pressure to show this isn't just hype. If it works, she repositions herself successfully as a serious business figure. If it doesn't, it reinforces the exact narrative she's been trying to move away from. That's why this moment matters more than people think. And this is exactly why you don't want to miss what happens next. Because most people will only see the headlines, but we're tracking the pattern. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay ahead of the story. Because when this unfolds, you'll already understand what others are just starting to realize. So let's be clear, this isn't just about a brand launching in Australia. It's about whether the brand can actually stand on its own, whether perception can be reshaped, and whether this is a comeback or a controlled pivot away from failure. And right now, that answer is still unfolding. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video. It helps more than you think. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay locked in so you don't miss what comes next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.